Welcome back to the Ponley Hockey Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. It is time for our Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Mark's is always giving me the best bling for this postgame show. Today I have a pair of beautiful earrings as well as this diamond tennis bracelet. And guys, Christmas is just around the corner. The holidays, like perfect gifts to give your significant other, your mom, your dad. I don't know, just a congratulations gift after the Eagles win another game. Our Diamond Debate topic today is, was this win over the Titans the most impressive performance of the season? If you're tuning in and you want to weigh in, you can find that on the JAKIB Media Twitter page and the YouTube channel in the community section. Right now, it is a resounding yes. About 85% of people say that yes, this was the most impressive performance and win of the season for the Eagles. Do you guys agree?
I think I do, and here's why. Because it's game number 12. I mean, this is the time of the season where you really crunch down and show everybody how good you are, and you don't allow for slippage. I see teams all over the NFL slip and slide. This team came out in a dominant fashion in a game that we all thought was going to be tougher for them. I mean, that line kept inching down. There were a lot of people that were betting the Tennessee Titans today, and the Eagles responded well. I would have to agree with that. Finest win of the year.
It's an old saying in football, but this Eagles team imposed their will on the opposition. They basically came out and told you what they were going to do and said, I dare you to make us change, and Tennessee could not on either side of the football. Eagles bowed up in the trenches and stopped Derrick Henry, as has been the case for the last 4 weeks against this team. I thought this was going to be another one of those 24-20 type teams. Games in the final analysis. When you consider Tennessee had not given up more than 22 points to an opponent all season, except week number 2 against Buffalo, they came out here and just basically told you, you can't stop us. There's no way you can stop us. And then once the Eagles get up on top of you, they force the opposition, in this case Tennessee, to play catch-up, takes them completely out of their game. And let's face it, Tennessee is not built to play catch-up football.
I told you before in the pregame they were going to score over.
You did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Listen, it was an impressive win because just understanding, what they did last week, you just knew that Mike Vrabel was going to have this team locked and loaded and ready to go. And it seemed like they didn't have an answer. They didn't have an answer for what Jonathan Gannon put on the field to get Derrick Henry going. They didn't have an answer, after Treylon Burks got hurt, that kind of put him behind the 8 ball a little bit. But even at that, they didn't really have an answer in the passing game. And they certainly didn't have an answer for what was going on with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the other side of the ball. Devin, I think the thing that I'm most impressed about is the fact that, this team can take whatever's necessary and figure out a way to win.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, that whatever adjustment that they've made, whatever game plan they've put together, whether they had to adjust on the fly or whether it went according to plan like today, they're 11-1.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that.
No, and, offensively especially, they're still without Dallas Goedert. And when someone goes down, when they need to maybe run the ball more, when, today, they need to pass the ball more, we see Jalen Hurts do what he needs to do. I loved the play calling today as well. I thought the game planning from Nick Sirianni was incredible. Of course, the penalties, I guess, if you had to find something to complain about, were, I guess, frustrating, but I'm not overly concerned. I think that's just going to happen sometimes. I don't know.
Here's, I think, a telling sign on how good this team is. Because you're right, Tennessee does not give up a lot of points. They're averaging 17 points given up. Game one team got more than 20, I think 20.
22.
Yeah, 22. All right, so what? And I look at their secondary, and I'm thinking, no, their secondary is not very good at all. So what makes them a decent defensive team? It's what they do up front. Once the Eagles control what they did up front, it exposed that secondary completely, and they just took control of the game. I mean, I just this team is just mind-boggling in what they need to do. They do, and even when the game was tied, you just knew they were the better team. And once you stopped Derrick Henry, there was nothing that Tennessee could do about it.
I'm still going to complain about, not bringing any pressure on Ryan.
I was just going to bring up TJ.
On one
Not
play.
today, Seth.
On one play.
Not today.
One play that you didn't
No,
like.
he did it twice. He actually did it twice. He did it on another third down. You know, it's pretty apparent that, you know, it's 4th and 7.
It was a 4th and
third,
7, right.
And 3rd and long, and you have an opportunity, you know, to take away some field position, you know, and turn the ball right back over to your offense. Your offense is hot, you know, and you line up in your 4-man rush. You know you can't necessarily get there, and then on top of it, you know, you back off and you play zone, and Ryan Tannehill takes off and runs for 8 yards on 4th and 7. I'm like, come on, man. Just what is it going to hurt? So somebody on Twitter said, "Oh, what an asinine comment," you know, to say that you would come after him in that situation. I'm like, no. You really want to know what's asinine? Is believing that Ryan Tannehill can beat you throwing the ball down the field, okay, on 4th down, and Derrick Henry hadn't been able to run the ball one iota. That to me, that's asinine, that you can go a whole game and you don't blitz these less than quarterbacks at all, and think that when you get to a point in games where it really, really matters, like the last 4 weeks of the season into the playoffs, if you don't start dialing up some pressures, man, these good quarterbacks are going to hurt you.
Derek, we knew he was going to go off on that 4th and 7.
I know. And you know what? We did. When we were watching the game, we did.
I didn't give y'all a chance to set me up today. I just did it on my own.
But I'm going to try.
When have I ever tried to set you up, Sam?
Okay, D.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
I'm going to try to turn this into a positive.
Look, I got news for you.
What?
The defense is what it is. We're going to complain every week. It is what it is.
I'm just not going to stop doing it because, at some point in time, I'm telling you right now, at some point in time, it's going to bite them in the ass. I'm telling you.
So next week, they have the Giants. They're facing Daniel Jones, who I don't consider an elite quarterback. I don't think anyone does, but they do have to face Saquon Barkley. We've seen them now shut down Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. Seth, are you concerned if the Eagles go into next week's game against the Giants with the same defensive game plan that they came into this game with?
No, because it's going to take another effort like this in order for them to, get the W. I mean, they're going to have to.
So you're satisfied with the overall defensive effort today, despite?
No, absolutely. Okay. I'm just listen. In Philadelphia, we are used to a dominant style defense, and we're used to an aggressive style defense. You know, so when you have an opportunity to secure field position, when you have an opportunity to turn the ball back over to your offense that's just rolling, and all they want is for you to give them the ball back on 4th and 7, don't sit back and give a guy a chance to get out of the pocket and scramble for a 1st down after he's already shown you that he's healthy enough to scramble. All you got to do is you bring enough pressure to force him to get the ball out of his hand right now, make the tackle for 3 or 4 yards, make him punt, offense gets the ball back. But you give them an extra possession, and we're up 7-0 as a matter of fact. And on that conversion spurred them on to tying the game at 7.
Well, guess what's going to happen next week? You have a much more athletic quarterback.
He's going to do it again.
And Daniel Jones, he's going to do it again. He's going to take off and run.
It's going to happen again, and Seth's going to be annoyed next week.
I will be annoyed.
But here's the thing. Tannehill runs for that 1st down on 4th and 7. And here's where I'm going to make it a positive. Because it did lead to the touchdown, but it also led to Treylon Burks getting knocked out of the game on that touchdown. Which I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but that was pivotal that he wasn't there for the rest of that game. So they sacrificed the touchdown for losing a play.
Listen, I hear you, but I can't. That's not the important thing to me. The important thing to me is that at some point in time, and somebody said, oh, he just wants to blitz all the time. That is not what I'm saying. Don't be so damn idiotic about what you read and what it is that I'm talking about, But you can't play 50 to 75 plays a game against an offense and you have them in position to impose your will and to create chaos and just sit back and allow them to just eat up field.
Why do you allow social media to get under your skin?
It's unbelievable.
No, I mean,
why?
It's unbelievable.
We've talked about this. Do I need to send you to therapy?
I don't need therapy.
Are you sure?
Hey, listen.
Who needs therapy?
It's amazing to me.
On Twitter.
This is how I'm wired. I'll always be wired this way. Think about how much more. Now this team is 11-1. Think about how much more dominant this football team could be if the if the defense was just 10% more aggressive. I'm not talking about blitzing every down. I just want them to apply pressure to the quarterback just 10% more. And think about how many more opportunities that you create. I mean, listen, when was the last time we caused a fumble? When was the last time we had an interception?
And you know what the counter to that has been? The consensus counter?
That they won the game.
No. The consensus counter as well. We have a defense that leads the National Football League in takeaways. We have a defense that's one of the better defenses against the run in the National Football League. We have a defense that's one of the better defenses against the pass in the National Football League.
So we're just going to lean on that from week to week?
Yes, I just said it a moment ago.
No.
It is what it is.
No.
Jonathan Gannon's not going to change.
You're right.
It's not going to change.
You're right. He's not going to change.
And you know who else is not going to change?
Who?
Johnny Armchair, who calls Seth asinine.
Exactly.
Right?
And you let them get to you?
That's never going to change. And it heats him up every week. When
All right,
Johnny's eating nachos, complaining about Seth.
We're having a conversation. We're having a conversation about offensive and defensive football. What's the difference between me saying that they need to apply more pressure? What's the difference between that statement and the statement the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Oh, we've fallen in the rankings in the NFL as a passing offense. Oh, I'm not sure that Jalen Hurts, they've been struggling offensively. What's the difference?
We're just trying to look out for you.
What's the difference, though?
We're trying to look out for you.
If you want to talk about what I think the biggest flaw is for this defense, and this is not the defense's fault, it's the schedule's fault. You look at the collection of quarterbacks they played most of the season. How many have really tested them? How many top flight quarterbacks have they played this year?
Are you doing the whole they haven't played a real quarterback?
No. What does the schedule show you?
But who is a real quarterback?
No, I understand that that's not their fault. That's the way the schedule fell.
But there's even that goes to my point even that much more. Okay,
I get what you're saying. And I agree with you.
If I was playing against a healthy and fully loaded Aaron Rodgers every week, or a Patrick Mahomes every week, or a Joe Burrow every week, yeah, I would be a little more tentative in my play calling. But if I'm playing against these guys that are one-read wonders that have to have a running game in order to be able to operate in the passing game, you damn right I'm going to make them nervous. I'm going to make them go in at halftime and change their draws. That's what I'm going to do.
No, I'm just saying, on this particular day, it's all positive. And I agree with what you've said. And guess what? It's not going to change.
You're right, but
It's not going to change.
I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to change, and I'm going to stop complaining.
Mike, can I switch seats with you next week? Can I sit over here and you sit here? Can we change seats?
We try every week to calm him down.
All right.
And it doesn't work.
No,
so
I mean, we should know.
It's
week 13 of this. Yes, we should learn. But I respect it because I do think that Jonathan Gannon's defense can be very frustrating to watch. I'm saying with the original Diamond debate, was this the most impressive, complete win that the Eagles have gotten all season? Yes, I think so. I think it's frustrating as an Eagles fan and someone who covers the team in Philadelphia to see a lot of the national media takes say, they haven't played a good quarterback. They haven't played a good team. Everyone had this Titans game circled on the calendar as, a scheduled loss. Everyone kind of chalked this game up to be the most difficult one on the Eagles' schedule, essentially, and they got their most impressive win of the season. So I think that says a lot for the talent that the Eagles have.
And listen, I give the defense props, okay? They had a hell of a day today. They are 4 for 14 on third down conversions against the Tennessee Titans. 53 total plays, okay? That's 2 weeks in a row. I think last week, who was their opponent last week again? Who the hell they played last week?
The Packers.
Okay, the Packers only have.
See, he's so fired up, he don't remember week 2. I'm a little nervous right now.
Didn't the Packers only have like 40-something plays last week?
Something like 49
so, 49 plays. They only had 53 plays, 200 total yards. Total yards, okay? 122 yards passing and 87 yards, on the ground. And six sacks, okay? That's a hell of a performance. I'm not saying that that's not efficient, that that's not good enough, but my point is, how much more dominant could they be if they just applied a little more pressure?
Right. And when you look at the upcoming schedule,
I'm talking just 10%.
Yeah.
Not every down, not blitzing every third down, but blitzing 10% more.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I agree. Like, I'm nervous about the Cowboys game coming up. They haven't played the Giants yet. We're going to have that one next week, so they should be a little bit more aggressive. I agree with you, Seth Joyner. All right. That wraps up our Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Again, love the bling that they gave me, this bracelet, these earrings. If you need to buy anyone in your family, a loved one, significant other, brother, sister, whoever, any gift for the holidays, make sure you head to Mark's because they really have the most beautiful stuff, and they're always hooking me up with the best bling for the Pond the Hockey postgame show. And stick around because our postgame show will be right back after this break.